Hello and welcome back, my stylish friends. Today we're learning design number 10 for our granny square blanket. And if you see something familiar, you're absolutely right. This design is very similar to design number 8 we learned last month. So what I want you to do, go back to the design number 8 video and work independently first 3 rows. Meet me back here when it's time to finish row number 4 so I can show you how to change yarn color in the middle of the chain spaces in the corner. This is important only if you want to connect your granny squares seamlessly. That means you will not work around the stitches, but you will go in between front loop and back loop to connect your granny squares. So you want the design to be symmetrical, and that's why when we're working right now, as you see, one loop is kind of going to the side. It's always going to the right. So let me show you how I do that, how I will make the chain space to be equal size in each color for each triangle. We start as usual, and let me go to the first corner to show you how exactly I do that to change the yarn color in the middle of my chain space. We're working on those granny squares for quite some time now, so I believe you are very familiar how we work in them. Okay, we're going to the corner, and once I get to the last stitch, I will move my other yarn color to the back, and then I bring the yarn back to front and back again. So I'm twisting my gray color yarn around my white one. What this does, allow me to use my white color yarn, but I bring my gray color yarn up, and now I am able to change that yarn color because the gray color yarn is in the back. And it's not only in the back, it's also on the top. So I have now 2 loops in my chain space. I have chain 2, and now I just make my regular cluster. And I will show you this in the next chain space as well, because this is a little bit tricky. And as you see, you have nice straight line. There is no loops going on either side, like right here. So if you want to avoid this, that's what you will do. Okay, so let's speed up again, go to the next corner. And just a reminder, when you work in multiple color yarn, make sure your yarn tension is a little bit looser. It's better to have looser than too tight. You want this square to be able to move in your blanket. Okay, the white color yarn goes around my gray one, and I'm still working with my gray color yarn. So what I'm doing, I'm just placing the non-working color yarn in between my loops, and now I can change the yarn color. So normally we were changing yarn color in the end of the cluster. This one you actually make in one chain with the old color yarn, and you start new cluster with new color yarn, but you're starting with the chain 1 in the chain space. There you go, you have perfectly a symmetrical triangle. And as I mentioned, it's very similar to the design we were working in the design number 8, only we did 3 rows in the design color, and the last row was the background color. So we did not deal with this. But this is only important, again, if you're connecting your granny square stitches where you want to see the whole design. If you will be working your granny square stitches and you will add additional row around, you do not need to worry about, and you can just work as normally, changing color before chain spaces. Once again, around. So you go in front and back and 1 chain. See, it's nice and secure. And now I can change my yarn color because I already have 1, and finish my cluster. So I hope this information is helpful, and in some project you might use that. And I hope you enjoy every single design that we learned so far. This is design number 10. So we are not even halfway. We have 24 different designs to learn this year. And I really hope you enjoy this project and your blanket at the end of this year will look amazing. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for all the likes and share. And please ask any questions you want. I am happy to help and, guide you with this project or any other projects you might have. And we are at the end, so do not forget about your last chain space. You want this to be identical to the other corners, so we are doing the same way. 1 chain in 1 color, and we're changing yarn color for just 1 chain, and then we will slip stitch to our first stitch, and then we can cut the yarn, hide the ends. And let's check this out. How did the final design will look? Again, I always check just my yarn tension. If it's not too tight, I want this to stretch in every direction possible. So what do you think about this? You can arrange this way, that way. Looks very pretty when you're making all the same and making just 1 blanket using this design. But again, we are making different designs this year, so we want to incorporate up to 24. You can make as many as you need. I hope you enjoyed this project. See you next time.